is everybody doing? Eva, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really great, to be honest. How are you doing?
Very good, my man. Through the power of technology, we are in the same town, but we have busy lives. So we can definitely still hook this up, though, through the power of the internet and the technology that comes with it.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to see how the outcome is going to be. I mean, this is amazing. This just saves a lot of time as well. So tech life, right?
Tech life. There you go. So what we're going to talk about today, Eva, we're going to touch on Conor versus Dustin.
Wow. Yeah.
Did you watch it live?
UFC 264. I didn't. We are in Switzerland, so basically pirate streaming is kind of a thing. You don't get punished for it. If you share it, let's say commercially, if you earn money, you will have to pay a fine. But other than that, anything that is streamed is available in Switzerland for free. So just be warned that I've watched the fights afterwards. And yeah, because since the fight Chael Sonnen against Anderson Silva, where Chael was beating up Anderson for 4 rounds and got caught in the 5th, I decided I'm not going to stay awake anymore. And just rewatch the fights. And actually, what I prefer to do is read about the fight, see the outcome, and then watch the fight, analyzing it, right? So that's what I just did. Have you watched them live?
I watched it live, but I can neither confirm nor deny how I watched it. Maybe I bought the pay-per-view. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither.
But as you say, I think the last fights that I watched live, I did watch the 2 Anderson Silvas versus Chael Sonnens. I watched John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. I watched Ronda versus Amanda Nunes and Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg. I watched those 2 live.
Yeah.
But I mean, and Conor said it himself in a tweet after the fight. You people need me. There's that stuck with me because I've no interest in staying up and watching anybody else.
Do you want to talk about the fight and we talk about the stuff afterwards, right?
Absolutely.
So what did you thought about the fight?
Huge hype.
Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Huge hype.
Huge hype going in. Lots of animosity this time. Didn't work in Conor's favor at all because the trash talk was very, very amateur.
It was really, even to me, it was tasteless. You call it in German tasteless, right? No taste whatsoever. It wasn't funny. It wasn't the I'm going under the skin of my opponent. It was more of I'm a 3rd grader and I'm going to threaten my opponent and try to intimidate him, although he beat me in the last fight, right? I was really disappointed with his talks and what he tried to achieve. He is a huge draw. This is the thing. He has a huge audience, huge platform. What he has became is a villain. That's the only thing I can say. He became a villain, and he is attracting more haters than fans. So people will tune in to see him get knocked out, submitted, or whatsoever. You can call this, if you think about what Chael Sonnen said, you can call this a genius strategic move.
Yeah, absolutely. But it worked in his favor against Cowboy Cerrone, and it worked. No, I won't say it worked in his favor against Dustin in the last fight, but gaining so much more fans from being respectful and keeping the trash talk to a minimum, still being funny, having that charisma. But I don't know, man. This time he got personal. You think he'd learned from the Khabib trash talk that you don't cross a line. You make it entertaining. You get people interested, invested, and to purchase the pay-per-view, but you don't make it too personal. Come on, man.
I think he lost the old Conor. We can agree that old Conor is gone. And what I mean by old Conor is the guy who beat Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
That Conor is just gone. That promotion machine is gone. He's trying to find new ways now. And I think he's trying to do this hand in hand with his business acumens. So what business is he's going to take after he sold Proper 12? And I'm thinking further than this, right? He is a businessman. And don't get me wrong, this is not the right way to do it. I'm thinking he might have a role coming up as a villain in a movie, and he's trying to play this hard guy. I really have no idea. This is just a pure speculation, but I could imagine him being in some kind of a movie, a bad guy like George St. Pierre was. But nobody believed George St. Pierre, right? Because he's the good guy. He couldn't be the villain in the Marvel movies. So
Yeah.
this is the thing. That being said, I think that Conor needs to become a little bit more realistic about his development, his fight skills. What I've seen is Dustin Poirier becoming even better, having this calmness. He was completely calm and in control of the fight. And I think that he has evolved as a fighter from the second fight to the third, and now maybe into the fourth. We are going to see a completely different Dustin Poirier. He said one thing when they asked him if he wants to take up on the light heavyweight title. He said, "Listen, I'm a prize fighter. I'm fighting for money. If there is a fourth Conor McGregor fight coming up, I'm taking that over the lightweight title." Why? Charles Oliveira is not a promotion machine. This is going to be a standard contract fight, win, lose the title, that's it. Dustin has evolved. Conor has evolved, in my opinion, in a completely wrong direction. I think he's losing. He has became the John Jones, and that's why on Twitter you could see John Jones praising Conor McGregor. Ronda Rousey praised Conor McGregor. Chael Sonnen praised Conor McGregor. So out of the three, I value Chael Sonnen's opinion the most, because why? He is a promotion machine, and he said, "Listen, this guy had a broken leg. You are sitting on the floor watching your broken leg. It's visual, right? You can see it." And what did he do? He was completely professional and started to promote the fight. Don't get me wrong, he might have been in shock, still thinking how to promote the fight, and he started to throw these threats against his family and killing them in the sleep, which I think should have kind of a, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, but this should have some actions done by the UFC, like proper warnings and saying this cannot happen again. Leave the family out of it. No more death threats, because if something happens to Dustin's family, he's going to be the first they're going to look at.
Absolutely, 100%. And then to the fight itself, it's just a case of everybody thought calf kicks, including myself. Oh, by the way, you owe me a lunch. Calf kicks.
Yeah, I do.
Conor comes out first, initiates the leg kicks. I want to skip forward to John Kavanagh's interview on Sunday, where he says, he had a minor injury going into the fight just to kind of like save face. No, if that was the case, your strategy wouldn't be to kick using the broken leg that you already say you had. So that's absolute nonsense. But Conor threw a kick a minute in, and Dustin looked at him and said, whether it was checked, but something happened. And Dustin acknowledged that in the post-fight press conference, where he said, I felt something. So we can't look at this as a freak accident, Now, yeah, go ahead.
I'm questioning the ability of 95% of the fan base saying this was a freak accident. This was not a freak accident. If you have been fighting in MMA, boxing, kickboxing, if you have done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or grappling competitions, you know when something snaps. You just know it. Why? Because you are there and you hear the sound. If you have been refereeing the fight and you hear the snap, you know it's been broken. The moment Conor McGregor kicked and Dustin blocked it with his knee, he heard a crack. Yeah. And that's why he pointed immediately to the foot and said, "Oh, something is wrong there."
Absolutely. And then Dustin goes in, initiates some good striking, couple of calf kicks. Both had great boxing in the first 2 minutes. Then you look at Conor. He goes for a guillotine, not known for his jiu-jitsu, the Irish guy, but he initiated the jiu-jitsu, he initiated the takedown. He actually pulled guard. He pulled in the guillotine. And then Dustin just went to work. Obviously passed guard very, very easily. Big elbows. You see Conor gripping the inside of the glove. You do see visuals of that now that all the footage has been analyzed. Big up kicks from Conor, but huge elbows from half guard and full guard from Dustin. I don't see it as a 10-8 round. I genuinely don't. You can't give a 10-8 round to someone who's had that much success from Conor.
Let me tell you about judging.
Am I wrong here?
When you have a knockdown, when you have a completely dominant ground game for the first round, let's say you are Khabib and you are on top of somebody and doing huge damage, if you are dominating somebody in the stand when he's on the cage and you are not able to knock him out but are always this close to a knockout, that's a 10-8.
Really?
I haven't seen one 10-8 moment in this whole first round. So giving a 10-8 is, to me, again, questionable. And I would like to review the judges, what their backgrounds are.
Right,
but they were definitely not a 10-8. You cannot, as a fan base, spit and attack the judges once they do misjudging and then praise them when they do it to a villain or to somebody who you don't support. This was not a 10-8 round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was shocked when I saw it on the website. It was 10-8. No, Conor had some great kicks. He landed some great boxing. He got up he didn't get up. Dustin let him up. But 10-8 rounds are dominations. That wasn't a domination.
Yeah.
That was a win, a round win for Dustin.
It was a 10-9.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously we just talked about the trash talk after he cutting his promo, but Dustin was as classy as he needed to be. He didn't need to say all the nice things he said about Conor and his family. Dustin handled himself fantastically in the post-fight press conference, and I think Dustin is going to go on now to become the what is it? What's 55? Flyweight?
It's
lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yeah. Sorry, because boxing, the levels are different.
Yeah.
155-pound champion, and I think he stays champion for at least 4 or 5 fights.
Yeah. Listen, I think Dustin Poirier really is appreciating what Conor is doing for him. And let's be honest, Conor is doing this for both of them. Foremostly, he does it for his own financial interest and for his promotional interest because he is a brand, right? He tries to build up something. He does pull Dustin along, right? So I think Dustin is seeing this as a kind of a game, but once you bring the family in, this becomes a dangerous playground, right? And we should kind of, as a fan base, ask Conor to stop doing. So he can trash talk, he can be insulting towards Dustin and his, let's say his spouse, calling him a wife. That's all fine, but threatening somebody's family, posting pictures of the daughter and putting some crazy phrase there, that's just not gonna cut for me, and I'm going to lose interest in supporting that. The biggest thing that you can do is stop supporting the fighter by watching his fights. That's when Conor is going to notice that he's losing and not tune in to see how he's going to lose, because that's actually what he wants.
Yeah, that's the Floyd Mayweather effect.
Yeah. Once he launched that low kick, Dustin checked it with a knee, it cracked. He put some pressure on it, it broke. Now there's a funny picture I'm going to send to you. I actually posted on Twitter already. There is Weidman, there is Anderson Silva, John Jones, and I think, of course, Conor McGregor, 4 of them in the picture. So we have 3 guys broken their legs now. And John Jones looking down and saying, oh, sheesh, but he's the guy with the skinniest leg out of the 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is kind of a curse of being a villain champion. I don't know. It has something to do. So I've read another article about the injury from Bas Rutten. So there's a combination of the Dustin checking the kick with the knee, at the same time, the way how Conor kicked. So, it happened. You can credit. So listen, one of our strategies when I was training in Amsterdam or when I was training in England was, even in boxing, is to protect yourself and to block with the elbow to break the guy's hand, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a strategy. This is a strategy. I cannot say it's a freak accident. It's a pity that it ended that way. And Conor immediately went into this mode promoting the next fight, which is going to be huge. So this is a strategy, and I'm giving Dustin a lot of credit for catching the kick with his knee or
Yeah.
with the outside knee. So this is not a coincidence. This is not unlucky. This is actually trained. And being sloppy in your technique, you can use that as a fighter in your defense. So this is something we can talk about: defensive fighting and hurting your opponent, being defensive and hurting your opponents, right? This is a huge aspect that people are completely ignoring.
Absolutely. That's how I block punches when I get those big body shots in the gym or in a fight.
Elbow.
When the big body shots come in, you drop your elbow down. You know exactly where to put it. If you point the elbow slightly out, it hurts because you catch that on the meat of your thumb. You're gonna have a thumb injury for about 6 months. It's happened to me.
Absolutely.
I haven't thrown many kicks when I've been fighting. I throw kicks to set up punches, but the one or two times where I did throw some weight behind the kicks, I really hurt myself because the guy knew how to defend it. But
So when does a guy know how to defend a kick if you don't set them up properly with your hands? This is something I was missing from Conor's side. This is something really I would have hoped to see more. John Kavanagh might be delusional, bringing up the second round. If it didn't happen, your guy lost. He broke his leg. So I didn't see that domination that he was speaking about. Is it a fluke win? It is not. It is a real win. It's a true win. Legitimate.
legitimate, yeah.
So it's a win. It's a doctor stoppage. I wouldn't call it a TKO. It's not a TKO, but you need to name the child, right? So there is rules book that states if the fighter is injured in the first round, it is ruled a TKO. Why? He couldn't continue, and after the fight has been ruled a TKO, the doctor confirmed that the leg is broken. If there is a cut during the round and it's too much bleeding, the doctor can call off the fight, and that would be a doctor stoppage. So when people are arguing, you need to look how the fight stopped, why did it stop, when did it stop.
And that's it. So then they went their separate ways. The post-fight press conference, Conor put up a thing on his Twitter, Instagram, just saying 6 weeks on crutches, yada, yada, yada. We know what's next for Dustin. What's next for Conor?
I think it's the fourth fight with Poirier. I think it ends the same way. So he's going to have 3 losses in a row, which I find a pity. If he is smart, he will take another fight in between, which he won't because Dustin is going to wait for him. This is personal now. And I would have preferred to see him take the fight again against Nate Diaz and seeing Nate and Conor leaving the UFC at the same time. This would have been huge.
Yeah.
It would be like a retirement fight for both of them. This could be huge. You could fill 3 stadiums, I think, with that fight.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Chasing Dustin Poirier is the wrong move, in my opinion, but it is going to happen because there is a huge story that can sell now. And for Dustin, I would advise him to pick up the... So, listen.
Go get the belt.
If Dustin fights and he gets the belt, he's defending the belt, so he doesn't look at that money fight against Conor anymore. And the UFC, nobody can justify that fight anymore, right? They cannot say Conor is fighting now Dustin, who is a champion, in a non-title bout, to set... No, it's going to be for the title, and you cannot do that. So promotion-wise, if you think about it, they need to put Dustin on the side. But who is going to challenge Charles Oliveira, who was very active and now is not going to chill around with his belt in his bed and just watch the guys fight and not earn any money? I think when you're a champion, that's when you're looking into the $500,000 bouts per bout fights pay, right?
Yeah,
so,
you get a new contract and you get the pay-per-view points with that and things like that. So let's see who he fights next.
Yeah, if Dustin goes fight Charles Oliveira and he wins, there is no more fourth fight against Conor McGregor. If he goes and loses, that's a perfect sense, because they've been saying now Conor is used as a stepping stone. He's a huge name. He's a gatekeeper. He goes fights again to justify the second fight against Charles Oliveira. If Dustin fights and wins the title, next fight for Conor is Nate Diaz.
Yeah, Nate Diaz, and as you say, both retire.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
would be
great.
huge.
That would be
Talking
awesome.
about Diaz, have you seen the September announcement? The Robbie fucking Lawler against Nate motherfucking, I'm gonna slap your face, Diaz.
I woke up this morning, and the first thing I do, I try to avoid my phone in the morning, but the first thing I did was open my phone. I sent a couple of risky emails last night, and I wanted to check my emails. So as I was gradually waking up, I hit Instagram, and it was Kevin Ioli's Instagram page,
Yeah,
and it was a screenshot from Dana White, confirmed. And I'm like, okay, wipe my eyes, and then I'm like, Diaz versus Lawler. Oh my god,
that is huge.
massive, absolutely massive. Now, obviously, Robbie Lawler would be the favorite because he's more active,
Yeah.
but he's on losing streaks, and Diaz has been working. He's always working hard. I follow him on Instagram. He's always in the gym. He's always training. He's always sparring with Nate. This is going to be a beautiful fight, man. I'm going to watch that one live.
How frustrated are you when you're Diaz and you've been suspended for 5 years by the Las Vegas or the Nevada State Athletic Commission for using marijuana, the
Absolute
weed,
nonsense.
for the second time, and now they want you, because this is going to be the biggest payday, it's going to be Las Vegas, and you have to fight there. I would go just straight up and slap everybody in their face.
Yeah.
Well, not, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm glad that he gets this fight. I know that he's not going to take this by the UFC paying him peanuts. They spent a long time negotiating this contract. I'm delighted for him. He's got the fight that everyone now wants to see, because this was an amazing fight back in the day. That was it, a TKO or a KO? Mazzagatti.
It was a KO. It was Robbie Lawler face down.
That's right.
It was a right hook, I think, even.
Yeah. That was the first time we saw. That was the first time I noticed the Stockton slap, where Nick was just there going, "Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton."
17 years ago. 17 years ago that fight
Amazing.
was.
Absolutely
Imagine.
amazing.
And I think it was in a promotion that is dead for a long time.
Strike
Was
Force.
it in the UFC? No, not Strike Force.
No, that was the UFC. That was it.
It was the UFC, right? But then they both went on this extreme cage fighting. No,
Yeah.
that's another. That's the
Elite
WC.
XC maybe.
Elite XC,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
motherfucker.
There you go.
Elite fucking FC.
Amazing.
Where there was this Facebook for fighters and all this shit. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time ago. I'm feeling old now. Fuck it.
I'll watch that one though. I'm looking forward to that one. We gotta have. I'll let you get your money back, man. Let's. Obviously, I'm gonna go for Diaz, but if you're gonna go for Diaz too, we can't bet, right?
I'm going for Diaz.
All right,
Anytime.
we can't bet on this one. Okay.
I will never, even if I know the odds would be against him, I'm always for Diaz. Have you seen? I need to see the first 6, 7, 8 round fight in the UFC.
Yeah,
This
he's
needs
got,
to happen.
He's got a devastating record, but a lot of his split decision losses, you could argue that he won.
Here's a crazy idea what I would like to see from the UFC. And if they are smart and they listen, they would do this. They have the UFC fight nights. They have the UFC numberings 264, 265, 266. They have the UFC live. They have this. Just make one of those shows for the legends fighting each other, but not Ken Shamrock legends, like Diaz legends, people who are on the way out, right? Give us those big money fights. Give us the Fedor fights. Obviously, Fedor is at Strikeforce, and they will bury him like a zombie each time they need to promote or revive the promotion. But create this big fight and just put him on that show, right?
It'd be nice.
Make it pay-per-view, make it whatever, but just do that. I'm 100% sure the real fans will thank it, and the new fans are gonna start to pick up more of how this whole business works.
There you go, man. So I think that's good for today, my sir.
Yeah, I think Conor McGregor future is right up there. I'm looking at 6 to 9 months until he is fully back, because he needs to go after the 6 weeks. He will need to undergo the rehab, and then he needs to pick up the training camp. And I hope he will go longer than three months. And I think he needs to gradually pick up the pace and not just go full blown, you know. And he needs to think about his strategy, his mindset, where he wants to go. Dustin obviously needs to work as he does. Be aware that Conor can evolve, but we have seen that curve going down. There is no more acceleration for Conor. Becoming better, of course, he can come back. That's it. My prediction: Robbie Lawler, Nate Diaz is doctor stoppage, 5th round.
Wow.
By just bleed.
That's aggressive, man. Yeah, I think Nick will get it done. I hope Nick gets it done. So let's see what happens. But the future is bright. There's some good fights coming up, and I'm sure we'll analyze them one fight night at a time, right?
Right, my friends,
Awesome.
my brother. It was nice talking to you.
Likewise,
Everybody, listen, an advice. Follow, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, involve your family, have everybody create a YouTube channel and just like and promote. Let's do this. I know we can do it.
Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. Until next time, rock and roll.
Until next time.